And if you thought we were done talking about the election, maybe next week.
WUFT political reporter Evan Moon is here to run down more angles on this election day.
Yes, some are excited, some are depressed, but we'll all wake up tomorrow morning with a somewhat new outlook on America's future. And as we already told you, Senator Marco Rubio is facing Democrat Representative Patrick Murphy. WUFT's own Sara Girard is in Miami, where Marco Rubio will be waiting for the results tonight. Sarah, what's going on out there? How's the atmosphere?
Well, right now it's really just journalists setting up. We were allowed to start at 3:30. The event is expected to start at 6:30. That's when we also expect Marco Rubio to arrive. Everybody is really just anticipating his arrival at this point and setting up for the event.
And why is this Senate race more important than in previous years?
Well, Evan, this is extremely important because Florida is one of the states that could decide the majority of the Senate seats in the United States Senate. Actually, Florida, the seats right now in the Senate, 34 of those seats are up for re-election, and 24 of those are the GOP, 10 are the Democrats. Other states besides Florida that could help decide the majority of the Senate, those are Illinois, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Indiana, and North Carolina. But as I said, right now, the Senate is currently dominated by the GOP and as well as the House. As far as this Marco Rubio event goes, you know, everybody is just anticipating his arrival. As you can probably already tell, after the polls close, we can expect people to just be refreshing their phones, refreshing those computers to see what the results are when they come out. Evan?
Thank you so much, Sarah. Marco Rubio's main rival, Democrat Patrick Murphy, will be thanking his supporters tonight in Palm Beach Gardens. Both Senate candidates voted today. I wonder who they voted for. Rubio has generally led the polls since announcing his re-election bid after dropping out of the presidential race. However, Murphy has the backing of President Barack Obama and presidential nominee Hillary Clinton. And it's no surprise that today, on what is considered one of the most controversial presidential election days in modern history, not everything went smoothly. There was a protest this morning at a New York City polling place that showed a little too much. Two topless women burst into a Manhattan polling station and began shouting, "Out of our polls, Trump!" It's the same location where Republican presidential hopeful Donald Trump placed his own vote earlier today. The topless women were quickly escorted out. They have been charged with electioneering. It is illegal to wear clothing to the polls, or apparently no clothing at all, if it's in support of a candidate. Across the country, millions are turning out to vote this election day, and millions more already have through early voting. Mark Barger has the latest on voter turnout as well as voter issues that may surface throughout the day.
Election day began just after midnight Eastern Time with less than a dozen voters in Dixville Notch, New Hampshire. That gave way to long pre-dawn lines in many polling places around the country.
I was glad to see that the lines were long. It meant that people are out and voting.
It's amazing. It's really wonderful.
Today's voters joined the record 46.3 million who cast ballots early.
People died for this right to vote, and it's inexcusable for somebody not to vote.
But constituents in some areas, like parts of New York City, encountered long waits because of malfunctioning voting machines.
This is a presidential election, and we shouldn't have to go through this.
And in 67 locales around the country, like here in Hillsborough County, Florida, there's special Justice Department attention today to ensure voting rights are protected.
This is important, and if we don't vote, then our decisions are made for us.
Donuts were the reward for some voters in Philadelphia, while a sitar calmed jangled voter nerves in Los Angeles.
The stress was heavy in this election, I have to say.
A campaign season that some would say has gone to the dogs has made its way back to the voters to render the final word. Mark Barger, NBC News.
And in the Sunshine State, voters were up with the sun to vote. Florida is a must-win swing state for both candidates. Here's a view of CNN's Electoral College map for this race. The 6 battleground states are Florida, Arizona, Nevada, New Hampshire, North Carolina, and the 2nd Congressional District in New Hampshire. So these are the states to watch tonight. You can catch local updates throughout the night. We'll collect election stories for you at WUFT.org and have live updates every hour on the hour on WUFT TV.